March has been a lot, right? And if you've been feeling emotionally exhausted, like you've been put through some kind of cosmic washing machine, there's a reason for that. Because tomorrow, on March 31st, something really significant is happening. Venus is finally coming home to Taurus. And I genuinely believe this is the wealth and love activation that so many of us have been waiting for. But here's what's really getting my attention. I don't think most people realize that everything difficult you've experienced this month wasn't random. It was preparation. And if you've been feeling like you're being pushed to your absolute limit lately, stay with me on this one. There's a very specific reason that's been happening, and I'm going to break it down later in this video. But first, there's something I think you need to understand. The version of you that walked into March, that version couldn't have handled what's coming tomorrow. You needed to be refined first. You needed to be cleared out. And honestly, as painful as it's been, I really believe it was necessary. You've been feeling the shift already, even if you didn't know what it was. So, here's the thing most people don't realize. They think planetary transits just happen in one moment, like a switch flips and boom, everything changes. But that's not how this works. And I really believe March 31st is different. Venus moving into Taurus isn't just a celestial event. It's like the final piece of a puzzle clicking into place. And the wildest part, you've already been feeling the energy building. That restlessness you've been carrying around. That strange sense that something big is about to happen. I don't think that's random. I think you're already picking up on what's coming. Here's what I've been noticing, and I've been feeling this myself. Some people are suddenly experiencing this weird pull towards specific things. Maybe it's luxury items you normally wouldn't think about. Maybe it's comfort, safety, stability. Maybe you've been craving really good food, soft fabrics, beautiful surroundings. And I have a feeling you've been experiencing that too, right? Because Venus in Taurus speaks the language of the physical world. It's not about ideas or concepts or future possibilities. It's about what you can touch, taste, smell, see, and feel right now. And your body has already been preparing for this shift, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. March has been brutal, and there's a cosmic reason for that. Let me be real with you here. This month has been intense. If you started March feeling one way and you're ending it feeling completely different, like you've been emotionally gutted and rebuilt, you're not alone. I've heard from so many people saying the exact same thing. And at first, it feels random, right? Like, why is everything falling apart? Why are old wounds suddenly resurfacing? Why does it feel like the universe is testing you at every single turn? But here's what I think is actually happening. And this was a huge realization for me. Venus has been moving through Aries for most of March. And in astrology, Venus in Aries is considered to be in detriment. Basically, Venus is uncomfortable there. She's out of her element. Think about it this way. Venus is all about harmony, attraction, beauty, slowness, magnetism. She wants to draw things in gently. But Aries is fire. It's aggressive, it's urgent, it's about conquest and fighting and pushing forward. So when Venus is in Aries, love and money feel like a battle. You're chasing instead of receiving. You're exhausted instead of fulfilled. And that's exactly what this month has felt like for so many of us. Relationships have been strained. Money has felt tight or chaotic. Self-worth has been questioned. You've been fighting for things that should come naturally. Does that resonate? But here's where it gets interesting. I don't think that struggle was pointless. Every hard conversation you had this month, every moment you had to stand up for yourself, every time you faced a fear about not being enough, all of that was clearing out the old energy. All of that was making space for what's coming tomorrow. Because Venus can't bring you abundance if you're still holding on to patterns that block it. She can't bring you love if you're still carrying wounds that make you chase instead of attract. This month was the purge. Tomorrow is the reward. Tomorrow, everything shifts, and you're going to feel it in your body. On March 31st at noon, Venus crosses into Taurus. And this is huge in astrology. When a planet moves into the sign it rules, it's called being in domicile. Basically, it means Venus is finally home. She's in her power. She's operating at full strength. And the shift from Aries to Taurus, it's immediately palpable. It's like going from a loud, chaotic party to a quiet, luxurious sanctuary. The frantic energy drops away. The urgency dissolves. And what replaces it is this deep, grounded, receptive energy that just feels like relief. I think you're going to feel this in your body first. That tight, anxious feeling in your chest, it's going to start to soften. That restless energy that's been keeping you up at night, it's going to settle. You might even notice that your breathing changes deeper, slower, more relaxed. Because Venus in Taurus doesn't operate through the mind, it operates through the nervous system. And when your nervous system finally gets permission to relax, everything else starts to shift too. Your thoughts become clearer, your emotions stabilize, and suddenly you're not in survival mode anymore. You're in receiving mode. And here's the part that really gets my attention. This isn't just about feeling better emotionally. I believe this shift has direct, tangible effects on what you attract into your life. Because when your frequency changes, your reality reorganizes itself to match. Does that make sense? The wealth activation isn't what you think it is. Okay. So when people hear wealth activation, they usually think about money, right? Like suddenly your bank account's going to explode, or you're going to win the lottery or something. And sure, financial opportunities absolutely can show up during Venus in Taurus, but I think the real wealth activation is so much deeper than that. Venus in Taurus teaches that true wealth is an inside job. It's not about how much money you have in your bank account. It's about how wealthy you feel in your body, in your daily life, in your sense of security and comfort. Let me ask you something. Do you feel rich when you're eating a really delicious meal? Do you feel abundant when you're wrapped in soft, comfortable clothes? Do you feel wealthy when you're surrounded by beauty, even if it's just a single flower on your desk? That's Taurus energy. It's about appreciating what you have right now. It's about finding pleasure in the simple sensory experiences of being alive. And when you can do that, when you can genuinely feel abundant in the present moment, that's when the external wealth starts to show up too. Because here's what I've noticed. People who are constantly stressed about money, who are always in a state of lack and panic, they repel abundance. Their nervous system is screaming, not enough, not enough, not enough. And the universe responds by giving them more experiences of not having enough. But people who can relax into a feeling of, I have everything I need right now, even if their bank account doesn't reflect it yet, they become magnets. Opportunities start appearing, money starts flowing more easily, and it doesn't feel like a struggle anymore. It feels natural. So the real wealth activation that's happening tomorrow, I think it's the shift from chasing abundance to attracting it, from forcing and fighting to allowing and receiving. And honestly, after the month we've all had, I think we're finally ready for that. In love, you're about to stop settling. And that's going to change everything. And if we're talking about love, oh man, this is where Venus in Taurus really shines, because Taurus doesn't do drama. It doesn't do games. It doesn't do the whole will they, won't they thing. Taurus wants something real, solid, dependable. If you've been in a situation where someone is hot and cold with you, where the energy is inconsistent, where you're constantly questioning where you stand, I think Venus in Taurus is going to make that really, really clear. You're either going to step away from it or they're going to step up. But the in-between, that's ending, because here's what happens when Venus moves into Taurus. Your standards get higher. Not in a judgmental way, but in a self-respecting way. You start to realize that you don't need someone who gives you butterflies and chaos. You need someone who gives you peace and consistency. You need someone who shows up, someone who keeps their word, someone who makes you feel safe. And for those of you who are single, I really believe this is one of the best times of the year to attract a serious, committed relationship. But here's the key. You have to embody what you're looking for. You have to be stable, grounded, and at peace within yourself first. Because Taurus energy doesn't chase, it attracts. So if you've been desperately seeking a partner, if you've been anxious about being alone, if you've been trying too hard, Venus in Taurus is asking you to stop. Relax. Take care of yourself. Create a life that feels so beautiful and comfortable that you're genuinely happy whether someone shows up or not, and that's when they show up. And for those of you already in relationships, this transit is asking you to slow down and actually enjoy each other, cook a meal together, touch more, talk less about problems and more about dreams, build something stable together. Because lasting love isn't built on passion alone. It's built on consistent everyday acts of care and commitment. You're going to crave different things and you should listen. So, here's something interesting I've been noticing, and I'd love to know if this has been happening to you too. In the days leading up to Venus entering Taurus, people's desires start to shift. Things that used to excite you suddenly feel empty, and things you used to overlook suddenly feel essential. Maybe you've been scrolling through your closet and everything feels wrong, too tight, too loud, too uncomfortable, and all you want is soft, natural fabrics that feel good on your skin. Maybe you've been looking at your space and it suddenly feels cluttered and chaotic, and you're hit with this overwhelming urge to simplify, to make it more beautiful and calming. Or maybe it's food. Maybe you're suddenly craving real nourishing meals instead of quick, convenient junk. Maybe you want to slow down and actually taste your food instead of eating while scrolling on your phone. These aren't random impulses. I really believe this is your body preparing for the shift, because Venus in Taurus speaks through your senses. It communicates through what feels good, what brings pleasure, what makes you feel grounded and alive. And here's the important part. I think you should listen. If your body is telling you to invest in better quality things, do it. If your intuition is saying it's time to upgrade your environment, trust that. If you're craving more rest, more comfort, more beauty in your daily life, honor that, because the manifestation mechanics of Venus in Taurus are completely different from other transits. This isn't about visualizing from your mind or affirming your way to success. This is about embodying the feeling of already having what you want, and you do that through your physical experience of the world. There's one thing you need to do tomorrow, and most people will miss it. Remember at the beginning when I said there's something really important I needed to tell you? This is it. And honestly, if you miss this, you could end up not activating this energy at all. Here's what most people get wrong about manifestation during Venus in Taurus. They think they need to do more, work harder, push more, make things happen. But that's the old Aries energy. That's the energy we're leaving behind. Venus in Taurus requires you to do the opposite. You have to slow down. You have to rest. You have to create space to actually receive. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, especially in a world that's constantly telling you to hustle and grind. But here's the thing. You can't receive if your hands are full. You can't attract if you're busy chasing. You can't let abundance flow to you if you're running around in a panic. So tomorrow, March 31st, I really want you to do something radical. I want you to give yourself permission to stop. Even if it's just for an hour, even if it's just for 20 minutes, create a moment where you're not doing, you're just being. Maybe you take a long bath. Maybe you sit outside and feel the sun on your skin. Maybe you cook yourself a really beautiful meal and eat it slowly, savoring every bite. Maybe you put on music you love and just lie down and listen. Whatever it is, make it sensory, make it pleasurable, make it something that brings you into your body and out of your racing mind, because that's how you activate this portal. That's how you signal to the universe that you're ready to receive. And if you can do this while setting an intention, while gently asking for what you want in love and money in your life, even better. But don't force it. Don't make it complicated. Just let yourself feel what it would be like to already have it. Let your nervous system relax into that feeling. That's the work. This affects every sign differently, but everyone gets something. Now, I want to quickly touch on how this transit might show up for you, specifically based on your sun or rising sign. Because while the overall energy is the same for everyone, it's going to activate different areas of your life depending on your chart. If you're in Aries, this is hitting your second house of money and self-worth. This could be one of your most lucrative periods of the year. Focus on increasing your income, but also on recognizing your inherent value. If you're a Taurus, this is literally your season. Venus in your first house is like a personal glow-up. You're more magnetic, more attractive, more confident. Use this energy to reinvent yourself and call in what you want. If you're a Gemini, Venus is moving through your 12th house. This is more internal, about releasing, healing, and preparing behind the scenes for what's coming later in the year. For Cancer, this lights up your 11th house of community and future goals. Abundance comes through your network. Connect with people, share your vision, collaborate. Leo, this is your career and public image sector. You're being seen and recognized professionally. This is a great time for promotions, raises, or launching something publicly. Virgo, your 9th house is activated. Travel, education, expansion. Opportunities come from outside your usual environment. Stay open to new perspectives and experiences. Libra, your 8th house is lit up. This is about shared resources, deep intimacy, and transformation. Financial partnerships or profound emotional bonding are highlighted. Scorpio, this is hitting your 7th house of committed relationships. If you're looking for a serious partner, this is your time. If you're already partnered, this deepens your bond. Sagittarius, your 6th house of daily routine and health is activated. Find pleasure in your everyday habits. Improve your physical wellness. Make work more enjoyable. Capricorn, this is your 5th house. Creativity, romance, pleasure. Let yourself have fun. Take risks in love. Express yourself creatively without worrying about the outcome. Aquarius, your 4th house of home and family is activated. Invest in your living space. Strengthen your foundation. Create a sanctuary that feels deeply secure. And Pisces, this is your 3rd house of communication and local environment. Money and love can come through writing, teaching, or people in your immediate community. The universe has been preparing you, and you're finally ready. Look, I want to be really honest with you about something. The reason March has been so hard, the reason you've had to face so much, feel so much, release so much, is because what's coming requires a different version of you. The old you, the one who chased love out of fear, the one who hustled for money out of desperation, the one who tied their worth to external validation. That version couldn't hold what's about to come in. They would have sabotaged it. They would have pushed it away. They weren't ready. But you are now. After everything you've been through this month, after all the healing and the releasing and the truth-telling, you're ready. You're clear. You're grounded. And you know your worth in a way you didn't before. And I think that's the real gift of this whole journey. Venus in Taurus isn't just bringing you wealth and love. It's bringing you a completely different relationship with wealth and love. One where you're not desperate. One where you're not performing. One where you simply exist in your worth and let life flow to you. That's the shift. That's the activation. That's what we've all been manifesting, even if we didn't know it. And tomorrow when Venus crosses into Taurus, I really believe you're going to feel it. Not as something new arriving, but as something you've always been returning home to. Because this energy isn't foreign, it's not external, it's who you are when you strip away all the fear and the striving and the proving. It's you at your most natural, most grounded, most abundant state. And honestly, after the month we've all had, I think we're so ready for that. All right, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for being here. Seriously, it means a lot. If this resonated with you and you want to see more content like this, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and please drop a comment below. I really want to hear how March has been for you and what you're hoping to manifest during this Venus in Taurus transit. I read every single comment and I love connecting with you all. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.